Shop talk, shy it, shutty up, day, up, shop tie, shutty up, shop talk.
What's going on, good people? What is going on? It is another day's journey, and I am glad about it. Want to welcome everybody to Shop Talk. Yes, it is. It is everyone's favorite show right here on everyone's favorite network. Listen, we have an incredible show lined up for you. So much stuff to talk about that we've got to get going. So, in me getting going, you know what you got to do? Get on the phone, call, text, tweet, Facebook, MySpace, Instagram, Social Cam, Periscope, Marco Polo, Threads, whatever it is you might be on, but you know who you got to tell. You got to tell your mama and them, Ray, Shay Shay, Day Day, Delicious Nim, Nut Nim, Po Joe Nim. Let them all know that we are live right here, right now on the Shop Talk family of networks. Listen, those of you who are tuned in, first of all, my name is Demetrius Tollfree. How do you know? Because those of you who are watching this live, it literally said so right there. You can hit me up everywhere at D Tollfree, at DTOLEFREE. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter, X if you use it. That's on Instagram, Threads, whatever it might be. Listen, if you are on it, social media wise, you can definitely find me there as well. We've got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of things to cover. But before we do anything, I want to let you know that I am grateful, super duper grateful to all of our radio partners around the country that play Shop Talk. The list has really grown, and people are hitting us up from everywhere, letting us know that they're listening to us on other networks besides our home network. And I just want to say thank you to those station managers who have allowed us in the ears of their constituents and allowed us to be a part of their weekly roundup of great shows. With that being said, I want to give a quick shout out to a person hanging out with us, which is my homegirl, Cheryl Galloway, out in Atlanta, Georgia. Glad to have her hanging out. Happy belated birthday. She did celebrate a birthday a couple of days ago. Glad to have her hanging out with us. Those of you who are watching us live, which many people do every week, here either on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're watching us live, why don't you do me a favor and tag a couple people in the chat so your friends, your family members, your homies can see exactly what it is you are watching. With that being said, we've got a lot of things to make happen, and I've got a lot of things to try to cover. So with that being said, let's first of all get ready to bring up our first co-host out in Hercules of California. So let's make that happen. Hercules of California, my guy is in the building. Always funny guy, always doing something incredible. Today is no difference. Let's bring him up, my guy. Ja'Cory Proto in the building. Ja'Cory, man.
What's up? It's a beautiful morning. It's cold outside today. Where the sun at?
It's not cold for me because I'm over here with a fan and on already. I'm already a little warm where I am.
Oh, you in that luxury zone. I haven't. Yeah, I gotta come visit. It's cold over here though. Ain't nothing but clouds in the sky.
Well, I'm not mad at it, man. Well, I'm glad to have you hanging out with us. And you know what? I had all these things lined up already in the thing, so I got to make a couple things happen. But as we get ready to go into today's show, we have a few things to cover and some things that I just want to mention in the fact of we've got people who've been hanging out with us literally from around the country. I want to just say thank you to all the people who hang out with us weekly. Some people watch us after the show is over, and then they still hit me up and say, hey, man, I watched the show and so forth and so on. And they always give me a recap of all the things that they saw on the show. So I just want to take a moment in this time of me being grateful and thankful just to thank all of these great listeners around the country. And there are plenty of them. And I just want to take a moment just to show my gratitude and my thanks, because you don't have to listen to us, but you do. And the least thing I ought to do is just say thank you for all of your love and support. All right, y'all. With that being said, let's get ready to get things going. First thing we're going to do is remind you one more time for about the vote for freedom or vote for Shop Talk. We are up for the Spin Awards. The Spin Awards. This is the final week to vote. So all you have to do, if you want to be able to vote, is simply go to thespinawards.com/vote, or you can just simply go to the Spin Awards, and when you go to the website, it pops up and shows you ways for you to vote. This is the last week. The voting ends on this coming Friday. So if you want to be able to participate, you can do that. Shop Talk is nominated in the Best Morning Show category. So if you want to be able to participate, we are in that Best Morning Show category. You can simply vote for us, as well as Shop Talk. Well, not Shop Talk. Freedom is in the Internet Radio Station of the Year category. So you have two ways you can two categories you can vote for us. And what I love about the Spin Awards is that you don't have to vote in every category. You can if you choose, but if you don't want to, you can just vote in the category that you choose, and then be able to submit that and be able to make things happen. This is the last week. Voting does close on this coming Friday, so we definitely want you to be able to make that happen and join us in trying to vote and make things happen for us for the Spin Awards. All right, y'all. With that being said, I got some more people hanging out with us. We've got Dee Dee Felder in the building. What is going on? Glad to have Dee Dee in the building. We also have my classmate who I got to see last week for a few minutes, Leandria Baker. We call her Nene. What is going on? We go all the way back to the 5th grade. Glad to have her hanging out. Shout out to David Jones in the building as well. And then my friend and yours, Chester Brooks, in the building. Chester Brooks also mentions to you, hey, man, he just wants to give you congratulations to you, Ja'Cory, in all the different things that you got going on, and which they are aplenty. Now, listen, I'm not mad at Ja'Cory, man. Ja'Cory is doing things around the country and making things happen, so much so that he got his mama hanging out with us. So much so, Mama is in the building with us, and she is hanging out with us to make things happen, to make sure that we get things going in the right direction. All right, y'all, let's get ready to keep things going. And as we do so, we are going to do today's Today in History. I only have one. I got one thing in history today. Today in history, 1990. Many of you may or may not remember this, but the incredible singer Curtis Mayfield, 1990, on this day was the day that he became paralyzed when some stage lighting equipment falls on him at an outdoor concert. I remember seeing this on the news as a youngster. I think I was almost 20 when this happened. But man, Curtis Mayfield, incredible singer, I think has now passed and gone on to be with the Lord. But in this day in history, this is when that horrific accident happened, and certainly just wanted to mention that in brevity. All right, y'all, let's keep things going and let's talk about today's National Day. I only have one. I got you in mind. I only have one thing in today's National Day. Now, I always make this joke with my kids because they like to go to expensive places, and every time we go into, whether we go to STK, whether we go to Fleming's, whether we go to Ruth Chris, wherever we go to a steakhouse, when they always ask me, "What are you going to get?" I always tell them I'm going to get a filet mignon. I want a petite. I want a petite filet mignon. And they always start cracking up, meaning I'm saying a filet mignon. But today is National Filet Mignon Day. And
where are you going to eat?
Yeah, right. That whole part. You see me over here rubbing my hands, trying to think, where can I go and kick my feet up today to make it happen? Because I'm going to do it. I like to eat some good groceries, and it is all to the good. But that is today's National Day. And see, I got Alea who is here. She's supposed to be asleep, but she knows. Anytime we go out, let me get a petite filet mignon, and they start cracking.
Just give me the burnt ends. Give me the burnt ends, and I'm good.
I ain't mad at you on that. I'm not mad at you on that. And it is all to the good. Glad to have all these people hanging out with us. Listen, let's now get ready for our birthdays. And I have two, but looks like we also have a couple that were added in terms of birthday. Now, for me, I went to the celebrity route, which we have former basketball player. I actually played with the Golden State Warriors for a season, DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is now 35 years old, forgive me, 35 years old. And then lastly, many of you might remember her from A Different World, the incredible Dawn Lewis.
Yes.
Today is her 64th birthday. So shout out to her as well. And Jacory, looked like you added two Bay Area greats to today's list. I think
In Jesus' name.
So we have the incredible Daryl Norman. Daryl Norman today, he is considered the governor of gospel here in the Bay Area. And today is his 72nd.
He climbing the mountain.
He is climbing the mountain. I had to think about that because he's the same age as my sister. They even went to high school together and a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, today's his birthday. Happy 72nd birthday to him. And then last but not least, Lynette Hawkins Stevens. I believe she is baby sis. She's the baby of the bunch of the Hawkins. She did celebrate a birthday on yesterday. So happy birthday to her as well. So Jacory, Ashlyn's not here, which means you've got to jump into the seat and be able to wish some happy birthdays to some people celebrating today. So the virtual floor is now yours.
Wow, on the spot. Well, look at your neighbor and say there's a war. There's a war going on, but in spite of, today is your birthday. So like no other, get yourself a cupcake, a slice of cake. Even you could even get yourself a cookie. But it's your special day from Freedom. We want to wish you a happy birthday and celebrate yourself. Don't wait on nobody else. Happy birthday.
That's good stuff. I love it, man. And your mother also made us aware that the incredible Nona Brown,
Lisa,
she also had a birthday as well. And glad to have her to mention during this time. And sure mentions, cake. She had a birthday just a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday. Her birthday was yesterday also. So shout out to Cheryl out in Atlanta. Shout out to my guy, Kenneth McDaniels, Pastor Kenneth McDaniels, who I got a chance to see in person on Sunday and even got a chance to play behind him as he and his church came through Lily of the Valley, which is where they normally have service, but they came and hung out with us on this past Sunday, and we had a great time. So glad to have him hanging out. And I see you, Cheryl. It was Monday. I said yesterday, but it was Monday. Anyway, nonetheless, it is all to the good. All right, y'all. Let's get ready to keep things going. And as we do so, we're going to get ready to bring up our next co-host. A little bit out of order. We'll come back to Hercules in just a second. But let's go out to the ATL. And, as I do this, I haven't done this in a couple of weeks. Since he's on time, I'm going to give him a couple of moments of his theme song. You already know what it is. Yeah. Those of you familiar with BMF know the song Wish Me Luck. As they are talking about Big Meech, we have our own Big Meech here at Shop Talk. Let's get ready to bring him up without further ado. The incredible Hallelujah Morning Man himself, Emetrius Hunter, in the building. Emetrius, man, what is going on?
Hey, good morning, hallelujah, morning, everybody out there in Freedom Radio Land. Listen, welcome to a wonderful segment of Shop Talk, the only station for the people, by the people, and like I always tell you to do, to give God your best, because we've done more for less, and I'm telling you the truth.
Oh Lord, because we've done more for less. That's the part that gets me and has me cracking up. Anyway, man, welcome to today's show. Glad to have you hanging out with us, man. Hope you are well. All right, y'all. As we get ready to get things going, let me just get ready. I need to add one more thing to the stream in terms of a photograph. I know you all have been enjoying Shop Talk because people have been hitting me up, and I just want to say one more time, I keep telling people thank you because there's so many other things that people could be doing on a weekly basis. And the mere fact that people take the time to hang out with us every week, it is absolutely a great joy. And I am glad to be able to present this to us every week. All right. In talking about presenting every week, what we've been talking about over the last few weeks, and I just want to mention it again, especially since we were talking about music. And again, shout out to Jacory, who had his song played and got a big thumb of approval from Larry D. Reed just I think last night was when that was. But speaking of great music, I want to just mention one more time about the Freedom Faves list that we have. You can get this particular list. It is an Apple Music based list, but you can definitely get it by simply going to tinyurl.com/FDR faves. And when you do this, you'll be able to see an incredible list, a curated list. I've always wanted to say that, a curated list that we have created through our Shop Talk family, myself, Yolanda Morant, Ashlyn Cole, and others. We've been putting in some effort, and we've got some incredible songs in that playlist, including at the very top of the list, Jacory's brand new remake of I'm on a Mission, or On a Mission, that is starting to sweep the nation. I decree it, that is going to continue to sweep the nation and make things happen. But if you want to get this playlist, simply yes, sir. All you have to do is go to this link, tinyurl.com/FDR faves, or just simply open up your Apple Music app and search FDR faves or Freedom Faves, and you'll be able to get this playlist and be able to have it. You'll enjoy some of the great music that is included in this list. It's not just Bay Area; it's great independent and well-known artists from literally around the country in the genre of gospel music. Yes, it's still a genre, and we definitely want you to be able to make things happen with that. So with that being said, thank you for allowing me to mention that. And let's keep things going. And in doing so, let me give a couple more quick shout outs to Chester Brooks, who is in the building. We mentioned him, but he says, where's the lie? Talking about some of the things that we were talking about. And my homie Cheryl Galloway says that she loves today's energy. Listen, we are full of energy and full of things to talk about. Shout out to Louise Valray in the building as well, a former constituent of a church I grew up at, which is the Good Samaritan Cathedral Church in Oakland, California. She and I go way back, like 4 flats on a Cadillac. All right, y'all. With that being said, let's get ready to keep things going. And in doing so, we were talking about gospel music. And I definitely want to bring this up because we definitely want to get this going. So as we get ready to bring something up, we're going to also get ready to introduce Ashlyn Cole in just a second. But let me find what I need to find. And yeah. So here's what we're going to talk about. As we talk about gospel music, we recently heard from one of the greats here in gospel music, who is changing his mind or changing his projection on gospel music, or his view on it. So I tell you what, let's first bring up Ashlyn Cole, my homie out in Hercules of California. So Ashlyn, welcome to today's show. You're joining in with, of course, your guy, Jacory, and of course, Demetrius. We are glad to have you hanging out with us. And I bring you up at a point where I just
be in the service. Hey,
yeah.
to be in the service.
Go get your choir roll.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll do it that way no more. Ricky Dilla changed it. So glad to be in the service.
Come on.
One more time.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
That is the jam.
Yeah. You guys can't.
My bad. As you were.
Oh, it's all good. So first of all, shout out to Corrine Burnett, who is saying good morning from Arizona, who also was hanging out with me last week at our convocation. What is going on, Corrine? Glad to have you in the building. But we're talking about gospel music. Ashlyn, we're talking about gospel music, Jacory, Demetrius, the genre that all of us love. And as of yesterday, we all heard or found out some information that I want to share. So why don't I push us over to the side for a second and let's hear this word from the man himself, the pastor, Donnie McClurkin.
Everybody, this is Donnie McClurkin, and I've got some great news for you. We've been working on a brand new musical project, and it's going to be my final recording, entitled Finally. We've got wonderful songs, we've got great featured artists that are going to be on it, and literally it is a work of love, saying thank you and farewell to the recording industry, but leaving a mark that will glorify God. and I pray that it blesses you. Look forward to it. The music will be released very soon. And I thank you for all your support. Be on the lookout. Some great music coming up from yours truly, Donnie McClurkin. Finally.
First of all, great video. But yeah, so the now 65-year-old Donnie McClurkin, who's been in the gospel music game for a long time, brought many years ago when he first came out with "Stand." I think that was his first single that he broke out with many years ago. Now
actually, he first came notarized with "Speak to My Heart."
Oh, you're right.
With New Jersey, was that New Jersey Mass Choir?
Yes,
that's when we first learned of him, and then that spun off his solo career.
You're exactly right. "Speak to My Heart." You're exactly right. Another great song. So I stand corrected. Good call out, Demetrius. Big Meech, as he lets me know that it was "Speak to My Heart." You're right. But here we are, few decades later, and he's getting ready to record, or is in the process of releasing his final album. Shocking. I mean, in my opinion, that he would do it. I mean, still tastefully done, but shocking that he would prepare to release what he believed or what he has said to be his final project.
Is it?
That's what he said.
But is it shocking?
It's shocking to me. Yeah.
Okay.
It's shocking to me because I look at Donnie McClurkin as one of the great voices of gospel music. And I mean, granted, yes, he hasn't released anything in quite a while, but everything he has released from my memory has been successful.
But how many legends have released anything? The only one you've really been seeing is Vanessa Bell Armstrong. I mean, if you look at those classical hit makers that are still alive, she's the only one about. Vicki Winans, where you at?
Karen Clark.
Well, she's never left. She's never left.
She never has left, but she released, and I think her album does not get enough recognition. Her album it's masterful, and she released it. I think it's last year, right after this, right after Stellars. It's masterful. So I'm not shocked by this. I think that there has been a wave of the people have spoken, but we don't know the conversations that Uncle Donnie is having with the Lord. We don't know what conversations he's having with God. And so I think that, if he is, I'm sure he's not retired. He didn't say he's retiring from gospel music. He didn't say he's retiring from ministry. He said he's doing his final recording. And so I think that doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me. I'm excited to see what he does with this project and what God does with this project, and then what he has next, because we don't know what God is moving him into or how he's shifting him into another season. And I think that if you're in the same season that you were last year or the year before, something is stale, something is stagnant. Every year has 4 seasons. So God designed it that way. You should always be moving and shifting and growing closer, as Jonathan McReynolds said. Closer, we're drawing closer. Shout out to Jonathan McReynolds, who's doing a live recording again in Chicago coming up. Closer, which changes us. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing has to happen all the time, every morning. So I'm excited. I'm excited for him.
I think it's great. I mean, it lets me know from my vantage point, who I'm just 10 years younger than he, is that he feels like maybe he feels like the genre is shifting, and that maybe as the genre is shifting, that maybe he doesn't still fit in the genre, or that there is a greater calling on his life beyond music. I mean, music will always be a part of his life, but maybe he's feeling a greater calling that is beyond just music. So, Jacory, man, what's your thought on this? I know you are, you are a great fan of gospel music, and so to hear that one of the gospel greats is recording-wise preparing to hang it up, man. What's your thought on that?
I never want to see the pioneers of the shoulders that I'm standing on ever say that, I'm done, but I don't think he can ever say he's done, because he has so many hits. He got so many hits that he gets to keep having concerts and singing the same old song until God decides to take him off the planet. But we do also have to remember that he is a pastor. So I'm pretty sure juggling the two of those could be a lot. I know he's always overseas doing something, but I think that he's kind of jumping off into his Bobby Jones to where he probably just wants to oversee. But at the end of the day, when we say that the genre in which he's in gospel music is shifting, I think that's when we need to sit back down at the board, because the thing is, he's singing gospel, the message, the good news. A lot of the music that's coming out that we're classifying as gospel now is not even really talking about Jesus. So I think we need to come back to the table and keep hope alive. We need the old, the new, and the babies to make a good cake. So that's where I stand.
I love it, man. I love that thought process. And shout out to from my church, missionary Van Hill, and she says, "Wow, Final, such an icon in gospel music." She, being from that New York area, I know she probably has some personal ties with Pastor McClurkin. So yeah, so he, according to that video, he says this is his last recording. Demetrius, man, we're talking about one of the gospel greats. I mean, and of course, there are only few left. You all have mentioned Vicki Winans. You mentioned Vanessa Bell Armstrong, who is still doing her thing in her 70s. You have to include Marvin Winans, who doesn't necessarily record, but he's still out there doing his thing in terms of singing the good news and things of that nature. But Demetrius, man, what's your thought on the fact that Donnie is going to release his final recording?
I'm not shocked. It's not shocking to me. A whole wave of conversation, change,
That's right.
outlook has become so surface since this last interview. Not saying that it wasn't being surfaced or looked at because of the previous Stellar Awards that's been had, where you're not seeing or hearing what we're used to and what the Stellar Awards was built off of. You have these artists like Don McClurkin, the Vanessa Bell Armstrongs, Marvin Saps, Marvin Winans, Fred Hammonds, the John P. Keys. They're pretty much right now kind of like the Monicas, the Brandys, the Anita Bakers, all these other R&B artists who's like, I'm not trying to get my music to transform with this new wave of sound. I'm true to who I am and what my brand is. So I'll just sit back and do some shows and just do some legendary shows, bring out some old music. But they're not putting out music no more because, and one, they're losing money.
Amen.
Because people are not buying music. Karen Clark's last album, yeah, it tops Billboard charts, but that doesn't mean her sales did.
Right.
And this is an icon in gospel music that everybody goes and listens to. If you put on program at your church is going to be so packed, you'll have to turn people away. Like these type of people, but yet and still, when it comes to the music industry, they're looking at making their money back off of their investment. You have to understand, these people behind these scenes, sitting at these desks and these conference rooms, these are investors. And anytime you walk into a room with investors, they're trying to see what they're going to get in their return. And the thing about it is, they want this certain sound, they want this, they want that. And the reason why he was able to come and sit there and talk so boldly and so relaxed is because he has the table behind him that's already investing in this sound, and this is what they want.
So it's control.
This is what they want to invest in. This is what they're seeing that the people are going to sell. This is what they're seeing is crossing over. It's the same thing. I mean, let's take a look at the pop music. Pop music has integrated into the R&B and hip hop scene. I'm like, wow. So, if you look at all the different genres, not just gospel, but genres of music, period, it's a sound that is being taken over by people that sit in a room that don't even really support us.
Yeah.
And don't know the anointing. Ain't trying to feel the anointing.
They're not looking for the oil. You can come in there. They're like, okay.
That's good.
Is that gonna sell?
Nothing to do with the church.
I think one of the
That's
best.
where they're at with this.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that I have seen, one of the best summaries, if you will, was from my sister Wendy Wyatt. She put out a statement just about this whole conversation and everything. And she said, she said some really good things. If you're following her, I don't want to misquote her, but she basically called us out that we're not necessarily being good stewards over gospel music. We're not really being good stewards over it. And we're trying to sell something that we don't ultimately believe ourselves. And that was tough. That was tough because I can only look in the mirror. We can only look in the mirror and check ourselves, right? And so for somebody to make a broad statement to say, well, maybe we're not really believing the things that we're singing. Maybe we don't really believe that God is a healer. Maybe we really don't believe that, and so that was hard to hear. But I think that it's good. I felt convicted. So maybe somebody else felt convicted when they heard that, because we don't want to be selling an empty gospel. We don't want to be trying to tell people something that we're not living. And I think that that's really big, because out here in these single streets, let me tell you, baby, even from the urshas to the pastors to the bishops, it's hard out here in these single streets to find somebody who's actually following the gospel. It's hard. I'm not calling out anybody's name, but it's really it's amazing to me
Hmm.
that people who stand in the pulpit or people who serve on Sundays are
Make their
not, they're
own
not
rules.
carrying that. They're making their own rules. It's the God of their own understanding. And that's not the God that I serve. The God that I serve is Bible. The God that I serve is the word. The God that I serve is the one that made the promises. But I'm, if I don't make the sacrifice of my life is supposed to be a living sacrifice. If it's not a living sacrifice, then what are we doing?
Interesting take on that. I am I'm glad that y'all got a chance to expound on that. That is very, very interesting. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with Pastor McClurkin as he just decides whatever is going to be his next journey. Only he and the Lord would know that.
Absolutely.
But I'm
Absolutely.
sure, knowing him like I know him from a distance, of course, I don't have a one-on-one personal relationship with him, but on the outside looking in, if I know anything about Pastor McClurkin, I'm sure that whatever is going to be next
Yeah.
is a well thought out process, and one
Yes.
that he has prayed upon, and more than likely has receiving the stamp of approval from the Lord to make this type of decision. So definitely we'll be talking about it, and the more that we know about it, we will keep you abreast and make things happen. All right, y'all, let's keep things going. And in doing so, on a different note, just momentarily, I just need to mention, many of you may not be old enough to remember this young lady, but Danielle Spencer, she played
Oh.
the character of Dee, the sister of Raj, on What's Happening. She, at only 60 years old, closed her eyes on yesterday. From what I understand, it was yesterday. There's different speculation, but it was formally announced yesterday that she has closed her eyes, and she left the whole acting business after being a part of What's Happening, and she actually became a doctor, a veterinarian.
Veterinarian, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, a veterinarian. Thank you, Demetrius, again for correcting me. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Dee, not knowing that we were, somewhat close in age. She's a few years older than I am, but I remember her vividly and the character that she played on What's Happening. I don't remember her playing any other characters, but this character is one that man, she embraced as a young kid, and she was snappy, boy. She always had a quick comeback with something. My guy Damon Owens chimes in and says that Dee was his favorite character on that show, and Diamond Feet says that was her BFF as a child in her head. Yeah, I get it. I'm
I
not mad.
love it.
On her cassette tape. Praise
Yeah,
God.
yeah, right. I'm not mad at it, but yeah, she has definitely closed her eyes and gone on to be with the Lord, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are with her family. She was in an accident, a car accident, from what I recall. She was in a car accident a little while back and had to go through a series of surgeries and stuff. And it seemed like to me, it's just like she just never fully recovered from those surgeries. I don't know if that had anything to do with her ultimate demise. But at the end of the day, an incredible young lady that has left an indelible impression upon us from an acting career. And certainly our thoughts and prayers are with her and
Mm.
her family. All right, y'all.
She,
With that being said, yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
oh, I was going to say in 2018, she had surgery for hematoma that resulted from a crash And she had to use a wheelchair and went through rehab to learn to walk again. So yeah, and that's just 2018. That's just a few
Yeah.
years ago. And so yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah.
She brought a whole different light to that show. I think it would not have been the same without her.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
totally agree. An
Yeah.
amazing actress. Definitely, as you mentioned in our chat, Ashlyn gone extremely too soon. All right, y'all. Let's get ready to go and go. When I say go, go on to our next subject, and that is it
Mm.
is Stellar Award Week, and it
Ooh.
is the 40th version or the 40th annual edition of the Stellar Awards that's happening this week. And people, as I'm looking at my phone, people are hitting me up, asking me, "Are you going? Are you coming?" All these type of things. So, thousands of people will converge on Nashville, Tennessee. Some starting as early as today, I believe. Our own Yolanda Morant has made the journey to Nashville as early as today. Other people will get there tomorrow and throughout the weekend to celebrate the 40th annual Stellar Awards weekend, a weekend that is full of many events. Obviously, the actual recording of the Stellar Awards will take place, I believe, on Saturday at some point, sometime during the day. But leading up to Saturday, there will be a plethora of events sponsored by either radio stations or record companies, record labels, whatever it may be. But there will be tons of events that will be going on. Now, Ja'Cory, are you still going?
No, I'm gonna be here, but I did get an email. I've been getting emails. Everybody's like, "Where you at? Where you at?" This year, I'm gonna be at home. I'm investing in myself, so I did cancel my ticket. However, I did get an email earlier this morning that they will be airing the Stellar Award pre-show. So as soon as I get that information, I'll send that out. I think that's pretty dope.
Oh, that is dope. They never air the pre-show. That's why it's
Wow,
called the
that's
pre-show because
awesome.
they just never air. That's great to hear. Now I know Ashley, you originally was going, then you changed your mind. Now you're not going. So are you still on the not going list right now?
So I was actually going as a special guest for an event that was happening tomorrow, and so I was going to fly out today, arrive tonight, do this event tomorrow, and fly back tomorrow. The event was going to be starting at 2 p.m. and it was going to be going on. It's being put together, all the Sunday best alumni. It was just going to be an amazing Jamal Roberts, so many incredible guests. And because of all the flight delays and all the flight challenges, my sister's getting married on Friday. And I'm not going to be stuck in a city and not able to get back to my sister's wedding. Like that I'm not going to miss that. This is a big, 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 big deal for her fiance, and I didn't want to miss it. And so the production team and management, made an executive decision. The people who were putting on that event actually suggested that we do something a little different, that we hold off. And so I'm appreciative of that because I was going to do it. I was gonna make the sacrifice of praise and go on out there and support. But the decision was made for me not to go. And I think we might be going to the Dove Awards. Not a comparison of apples to apples. Another thing, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been. I don't know much about the Dove Awards, to be honest. But I'm really excited about this year's Stellar Awards. Of course, it's being hosted by BB and CC Winans, which I think is a perfect. BB Winans is hilarious. CC Winans is the epitome of class and professionalism. They are both anointed. I think that it's going to be an excellent, excellent show. I'm excited. Some of our top nominees, if I may, Dito.
Absolutely.
Pastor Mike Jr. is nominated. Pastor Jason Nelson, of course, our friend, is nominated. CC Winans has 8 nominations, including Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, Albertina Walker's Female Artist of the Year. That's really a big deal. In addition, Tamela Mann, Chandler Moore, Micah Lee, nominated for the song Clap My Way. FK&M, if you don't know FK&M, that is Fred Hammond, Keith Staton, and Marcus Cole. They have multiple nominations. Dietrich Haddon, I'm sure he's going to be performing this year. Don't miss his performances because they are always, 120%. Dorinda Clark Cole, Kenny Lewis at One Voice, Mississippi Mass Choir. So I'm excited. I am really excited. The award ceremony will be recorded on August 16th at the Schermerhorn Symphony Center in Nashville, and they will be broadcast, I believe, on August 31st. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it will be on the Stellar Network and BET.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Listen, I am grateful to be able to talk about that because in years past, Freedom Radio used to do events during the Stellar Award weekend. We've done one in Nashville before. We've done two of them in Las Vegas before. And so, I have mixed emotions about Stellar Weekend. But Demetrius, man, I didn't get a chance to ask you, man. I know you're just in Atlanta. I know it's not that far. Are you planning on making the trip?
So I actually was planning to go, was unable to get a ticket. So I was like, let me just cancel my trip. I canceled my ticket. I canceled my Airbnb. Then get a call late last night.
Wow.
From a friend I ran into when I was in New Orleans, who works behind the scenes with these shows, part of the production entertainment piece of things. And so he asked if I was going to be in town. Did I find a ticket? I said, no, I told you I didn't have a ticket, so I'm just not going to go. And so he goes, well, I need some seat fillers.
Wow.
I said, what? So I'm like, well, if I can find a ticket the last minute, then I can fly out early Saturday morning. But if not that, then he also has me down. So I will be at the Dove Awards. So I am down for the Dove Awards, October.
Okay.
And so he added me to that list. So I'll be a seat filler definitely for that. So yeah, it's because tickets right now for round trip to Nashville is a little expensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Misha, you be the perfect seat filler because I know you're gonna come fabulous. You're gonna outdress most of the people in that audience. So
Well, if I'm being honest, my first two experiences at the Stellar Awards, I was a seat filler. Shouts out to B. Chase Williams. He had got me connected to get in, and it was here in Atlanta. And my first two experiences, I was a seat filler. Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I've never had plans to go because I got other plans. My birthday's in a couple of weeks, and as soon as my birthday gets here, I'm packing up and plan to put my feet in some sand. So the Stellars was on the back burner. So those of you that might be going, have a great time. But I can tell you this. So the topic of conversation, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Jacory talked about it. He expressed his opinion on it. And based on that, he got a lot of phone calls and got a lot of people trying to give him the best information that they could. But the conversation that we had was that the Stellar Awards was sold out so quick because they're using a smaller venue. This time, normally they would use the Opry House, which is when I've gone. That's where they've had the Stellar Awards. But this year, for the 40th, they are using a smaller venue. And Jacory, I know that you have a little bit of the insight on what is going on with that and why that's happening. Maybe you could tell us, man, why are the Stellars using a smaller venue? And maybe it's something that we don't know that you have insight to. So throw it out to you, man.
I wouldn't necessarily have any insight. I wish I had the insight, but I would definitely say that funding worldwide is at an all-time low. I mean, that from school budgets to just your budget. So I would only assume that, a lot of funding that would normally come in is probably not coming in like it normally would. So the church is going to have to get together and do some praying and actually come together.
Come on.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. I'm definitely with you. I can only imagine about the funding and all the headaches. It can be a headache. All the headaches that go along with trying to plan a function of this magnitude. Again, it's a mammoth year, the 40th year. But I will say, congrats to Don Jackson and his team for first of all having stick-to-itiveness to be able to keep this thing going for 40 years. It is undoubtedly the biggest night in gospel. I think that it's going to be simply amazing. So, again, to those of you that may be going, those of you who have plans to be in Nashville, want you to have a great time and be able to come back and let us know
Absolutely.
how things went
Hmm.
so we can get an update on it. We don't want to wait till the 31st. We want to know about it just as soon as you know about it. So keep us abreast and make sure that we are in the know. All right, y'all, we're going to keep things going.
Absolutely.
And in doing so, I just want to remind everyone, those of you who are tuning in with us, I know many of you watch us live on Facebook, but I want to make sure that you are following us or subscribed to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't done so, take a moment when you get time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's simply youtube.com/@ the @ Freedom Radio, and then the number one. There is another Freedom Radio out there that I have access to, but I can't find how to get access to it. So we're using Freedom Radio 1 at the present moment until we can figure things out. But we would love to have you subscribe. We're definitely going to be planning some incredible YouTube only content. As I'm sure many of you know, that Facebook has changed some of the things that it allows and that it does, meaning that you can only keep your videos up for only 30 days. And after that 30 days, they start removing your content. Shout out to Torrance Nelson. I haven't seen that name in a while. Torrance, what is going on, man? Glad to have you hanging out. And thank you, Ashton. Ashton says she's going to help me figure it out. Thank you so very much. She's always so resourceful. Anyway, listen, we've got a lot of things going on. Shout out to my cousin, the Bishop Daryl Andreas Shaw out in Fort Worth, Texas. What is going on, man? Glad to have you hanging out with us as well. All right, y'all. I want to throw us a little bit of a curve. This is unexpected and not something that I initially had planned to do, but I want to throw this curve out here because I want to get you all's opinion. And so many of you know that I keep up with basketball. I keep up with a ton of sports, but I keep up with basketball in particular. And there is a particular young man that we saw during the playoffs of last year that has got himself uh, in a situation. And the situation is something else. So he plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. His name is Anthony Edwards. Incredible player. Incredible player. Got himself in a little situation, a little sticky situation, where he got a young lady pregnant. And what he did was, instead of allowing her to go to the courts and all these kind of things, this is what he did. He gave her $1 million, and he prepaid for 18 years of child support in advance. Said, here is $1 million. Take this, consider this child support for 18 years. Do what you will with it.
She a fool.
Interesting. Now, I'm sure Ashton's probably going to look up and find out how much Anthony Edwards makes per year, but the mere fact that he gives $1 million in advance for child
Is that
support,
even legal?
I've never seen it before. But he says, hey, and I don't know every intricate part of the situation, but it does seem like
I,
you have something. Okay, go right ahead, Ashton. I'm going to throw it to you because I'm sure you've done some research. Go right ahead.
so he did. He did get this young lady. He's not denying uh paternity. Maternity is mother, paternity is father. Okay. But his net worth is 40 million as of 2025, because he's got a salary, he's got lots of endorsements. Anthony Edward, he is, definitely a high profile player in the NBA. But here's the twist. She's now seeking 500,000 additional dollars in damages, and she wants a public apology from Anthony Edwards. He is seeking sole custody of their daughter, and she wants compensation for her prolonged legal battle, and of course, pain and suffering and all the things. So even though this 1.8 million dollars was agreed on, she's saying that she wants additional monies before she agrees to sole custody. Now, I don't know all the details of it, but that is just the headlines for you. So I don't know. This is why
This
you gotta
You
train up a child in the way that you would have them to go, and they shall not depart. But
uh-uh.
our kids, our grown kids, the decision,
this
no,
they're
you
this
doing all
gotta
right.
watch. You gotta watch where you dropping your juices. That's the bottom line.
My. That's it. Hmm.
Where's the $1 million?
she already has that, but she's according
I've
to
heard
Ashley
all
saying,
that, but I ain't heard her give that money back though.
yeah, no, she not gonna give it back.
How
But
you gonna file? My one, I'm just like, is this even legal to even do something like this? Just be like, okay, you're pregnant. Here's $1 million for child support for the next 18 years. Okay. However,
Right.
was something signed? Was it documented? Is there some legalities that supported this process? Like, what would make you think to just hand somebody $1 million because they said they was pregnant? Is it even yours? Like, it's a lot of things. It's a
well, I
lot of things.
mean, I think that he's more than confident that it's his. You know, I can't remember the exact verbiage that the players use, but it's not like she was his girlfriend. She was one of the young ladies that was in one of the cities that he was
Yeah, she was
in.
the city link. He
Oh,
was. That's what we
wow.
call them. We call them the city link.
Oh,
That
that's
means they
what
got a
we
link in
call
each
them is
city.
crazy. Hold on, that's what we call them is crazy. That's what we call them. I ain't never heard that term in my life. That's
I
what
have never
we
heard that
call.
term either.
Oh
I ain't never heard that.
Lord,
That's be
Lord.
like, yeah,
No,
that's our
no,
little
Ooh,
city link.
the
Jesus,
I
city
just
Jesus.
link.
y'all gotta keep up with the.
Wow.
Listen, I learned by sitting around. My,
Woo. That's what we call them.
Wow,
Okay.
the city
Oh,
link.
okay. I have to drink some
erase
tea
that
on
from the
that one,
record.
Jesus.
Uh, can we remove that?
Yeah. Well, I,
But
I
yeah,
would
no,
say. I
but they
mean,
call
I
it
don't.
that.
I don't know.
Basically, that's what it is. They have like different girls in each city, that they link up with
Whew.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
as
familiar
as
with that
pro
part.
players, and they're traveling.
Yeah.
We used to call them garden tools in different area codes. You can fill in
Garden,
that blank.
garden
No,
Oh,
tools.
I
but
see.
it's another
I,
word. It's another
I
word.
think
It's
Gen
another
Z
word.
kind of cut our paragraph, cut it down to a simple term.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
the
God.
city link.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whew. Jesus.
Interesting, but I,
Okay.
I mean, I think it's interesting that I want to know where in his head he got $1 million for 18 years. I mean, and my guy Bishop Charles Reed says that she should have sued for inflation. Well, she is trying to sue. She is trying to get some extra funds. As Ashton just mentioned, because she doesn't feel like the million was enough, but apparently she took it. Obviously, she took it, and Ashlyn, I mean, you are a mother. I mean, obviously, I would never put you in the category of these things that they're mentioning, but
Nope.
you're a mother.
Not me.
But if you were with a person and you were offered $1 million, meaning this is the child support, I don't want to be a part of the child's life. Just take this money and leave me alone. What would be your thought process?
Well, me personally, I wouldn't put myself in this situation to begin with. First of all, I wasn't, I'm not married anymore, but I married the father of my two children, and so my mindset has always been, do not have babies running around here with no father. Don't do that. But the same is to be seen. Don't have these babies running around here with no mother. Our children need both of us. Our
Yeah,
children need a mother and a father. And
absolutely.
I also believe it takes a village to raise a child. Now, Anthony Edwards has an entourage around him. He is
Hmm.
very young. And so he has his family in his life and all that stuff. But I think that it speaks volumes, especially we're talking about a daughter. We're talking about a daughter. We're talking about a mini me to her mother. And you are treating the mother right. Do you understand the correlation between that, the implications of that? Like, we need to treat each other with kindness, we need to treat each other with respect. If you have laid down with somebody and a child has been made in this union, even if it's a temporary union, you've got to get outside of yourself and your own thoughts and whoever else is feeding this information. You've got to think about the child. You must. Our babies are just lost right now. The generation that is coming up now, I'm talking about the teenagers and the early 20 somethings right now, are lost. I was, this is a whole nother subject. I was absolutely encouraged this past weekend to see young people in worship at a few different churches. Ja'Cory drugged me around all over the Bay Area this past weekend. And I was so encouraged to see young people in worship because we don't see it enough. What we see are these stories in the headlines. And so parents, if you are parents of a child, teenager, into their early 20s, you got to train up a child early. These babies are seeing things on social media and in the news that we think they're not seeing. We're in denial. We don't think that these kids are not having sex at an early age. I teach middle school, and these babies are already talking about my boyfriend this, my boyfriend that. Okay, so it's happening early and younger. So we've got to we've got to start younger with teaching our kids about valuing yourself. Young ladies need to understand their value. You are a good thing. You carry favor for your future husband. You got to hold on to that and cherish that. And it starts with parenting, right? So I hope that they work this out. I hope that they have wise counsel and that they can really think about this child, because that's who's going to suffer in the long run. And all these zeros and all this stuff, it's great that you can write $1 million check. Those
Yeah.
zeros are not going to train up that child. Those zeros are not going to protect that child. Those zeros are not going to educate the child. What's going to educate the child is you sitting down and spending the time, mother and father, auntie, uncle, cousins, grandparents, all of that, focusing on this child and giving her what she needs.
I'm with you on that. I love it. And I'm gonna put up with Bishop Charles Reed puts on. He says, to be honest, 1 million for 18 years. He says just the raising and toll of children is already a job. Bad enough with 2 parents, but 1. So yeah, I'm with you. I am with you all the way. Listen, y'all, I'm looking up at the clock already. We are
Can't
not
believe
out
it.
of conversation. We're just merely out of time. It's time for us to get ready to go. But before we go, Ja'Cory has already had to step out and handle some more personal business, assisting the family during their time of need. But Demetrius, any closing comments, man? Final thoughts.
Give God your best, stay blessed, and stay encouraged.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. There's only one Demetrius. Ashley, any closing comments? Final thoughts.
I'm going to leave you with Hebrews 6:10, which says, "For God is not unjust so as to overlook your work." So remember that progress is still progress, even when it feels small or goes unseen. Heaven keeps record of moments that you show up, pray when you worry, choose faith over fear. God treasures every quiet act of love, every unseen yes, and nothing you do for Him is ever wasted. So keep pressing.
That's good stuff. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all, as we get ready to go, I do have a closing comment today. Just one thing I want to leave on record, and that is I don't want you to be a prisoner of your past. Never be a prisoner of your past. It was a lesson, not a life sentence.
Come on.
Let that be your word of the day. I'll say it one more time.
Hiya.
Never be a prisoner of your past. It was a life lesson, not a life sentence. Until the next time on this same Shop Talk Network at this same Shop Talk time, on behalf of Ja'Cory Prothro, Demetrius Hunter, and Ashlyn Cole, my name is Demetrius Tofree. To the next time, you know how we said, you can help us with saying, "Ow, Ikono, holla."
Holla.
Yes, I die.